Hello everybody and welcome to today's watch party for In Search of Darkness Part 3. As always, I'm Andrew. I haven't changed my name since the past gosh knows how many weeks. And I'm joined by Dom and Carlos. Say hello everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, and today's film will be the horror classic, I'm assured, because I'm going into this absolutely blind, April Fool's Day, which I understand is a big favourite of both of yours.
Yes. Love this film.
That's
Very much so.
fantastic.
It's an oddly pleasant film, even with it being an 80s slasher like bloodfest. It is surprisingly warm spirited.
Yeah. No, it really is. It has a great cast and you really feel like a genuine connection between the cast members and the characters are fleshed out. It's a slasher, but it's different. It's a different take on the slasher film where I can't remember anyone's name in any of like the Friday the 13th films really.
Okay, all right. Well, let's just say to everyone that the sync point for the film today will be where it says Paramount, a Gulf and Western company, while it's still the picture of the mountain with the clouds before it fades out. But let's do our usual roll call we do every week with our friends who are joining us on chat, on YouTube and Discord. So first off with the YouTube gang, we've got Lost Highway 69. Hello there, and Joshua Nelson, both joining us over there at the moment. And if we look through Discord, if I've missed your name out, say hello. We've got Sharon, we've got Onzi, we've got MacReady74, we've got Calbot, we've got MadMat42, and then we've got, let's keep going down through the list of people. Gosh, there's a lot of people chatting as I scroll through. We've got Robin, our CEO, joining us. We've got Onzi, we've got Eric, we've got Bikeys, welcome back. We've got Brainwire and we've got Edward the Black Prince. So I think, yep, I think we're just about there. So everybody, while everyone gets it queued up, Dom, again, this film is probably a little bit older than you.
I'm waiting for the day when we have a film where I was alive when it was out, when it was released. That day may never come, but I first watched this movie on VHS. I had a plethora, a library of slightly less quality VHS tapes than my peers, and I loved every one of them more or less. This was one I remember pulling it out of this giant bookshelf of VHS tapes I had, and I watched it one day. And this, as much as I've been saying it's like a wholesome, family-friendly, lovey-dovey movie, this scared me a lot as a kid. I was quite frightened by this, which is odd given some of the other movies I watched and I wasn't frightened. Extra. I don't know why this one freaked me out as much as it did. I think because I had a rather large social circle, and this film has quite a large cast that seemed like friends, and we did similarly pranky things to each other, and so I could see myself being present during this film.
Exactly.
And that's why it worried me.
Okay then, right, well we're just about ready to go. So Carla, would you do the countdown for us today, please?
Yes, everyone, get ready for a fun ride as we watch April Fool's Day in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. That Paramount logo really is iconic though, isn't it?
It
It's
is.
just from so
It
many.
is.
So if this is your first time watching it, put 1 in the chat. And if you've seen it more times than you can count, put 2 in the chat.
Oh, for sure.
It's my first time, absolutely.
I kind of consider this like the St. Elmo's Fire of horror films
Okay,
in
okay.
terms of like the cast, because Deborah Goodrich, who we see now on screen, she was in quite a few 80s films, and then we have Deborah Foreman, and then we have Amy Steele, and then we have Carlton Rothner, I think that's his last name. So
Okay.
you have all these cool people. We got Biff from Back to the Future. So we have all these cool kind of young assembled cast for this film. And
Wow.
it came out in the middle of the whole Brat Pack John Hughes movies.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it kind of had that feel of this ensemble, young, hot cast, in this film.
Well, I've got to be honest, if it's anything like St. Elmo's Fire, which is an all-time favourite of mine, I'll love this. But I can see more friends are joining us over on YouTube. We've got Orksters, and we've got Lost Highway, we said hello to. Cindy Settles, Joshua Nelson, who we've already said hello to. Mayor Hart, got all those saying hello. It's a mixture, kind of 50-50 of first time and I've seen it before. And I can also see over on Discord, Leanne has joined us, and Calbot, and Nerf of Her. And most of those are, well, we've got a couple of, it's again about 50-50 between I've seen it before and haven't. And Lost Highway says, Amy Steele rocks.
Yes, she does.
Were either of you two the buddy in your friend circle that had a camera on you at all times?
No.
No, I was not.
I was so beloved by my friends. I definitely wasn't hated by them, constantly filming pretty much every aspect of their life.
But Dom, don't forget this was 1986, and with all due respect, with your age being that little bit younger, your camera was probably a phone or a small camera. Back then, it was something usually that required, it required some kind of brace to carry the weight
Exactly.
on you. You couldn't covertly film something when you're putting something that big on your shoulder like that. Hello.
Exactly.
No, I had an old school camcorder that required like something slightly smaller than a VHS tape to slam into it. Mm-hmm. I even had one that did have copy directly onto VHS tapes. It wasn't small by any means. I couldn't secretly film my friends. I had to put this giant thing on my shoulder.
Exactly. Imagine now if we had those cameras and people were trying to film stuff for social media. It didn't happen.
Saying that we're just seeing there though the classic thing that's so common in America but not in the UK at all. A house with a basement. We have very few with basements. We call them cellars here in most places, and they're not as vast or as thrilling as we see in the American films for us Brits. They are. My late grandmother's house had a cellar in it, and it was exciting when you went down there. It had some old tins of paint and a chest freezer with fish sticks in it. It was, it wasn't this wondrous storeroom.
My grandmother has a cellar, and it, again, terrified me a lot as a child. She lives in the countryside of England, and her cellar was used for storing her bottles of wine that she had. And I was always tasked with going down into this pitch black cellar, usually during the rain, with a genuine oil lantern that she put a candle in for me, to go and retrieve bottles of wine. Now, frogs used to congregate down there, and I would hear this wet slapping sound in the pitch black darkness, and it terrified me. I was positive that zombies were crawling on the walls down there.
Was the wine down there, was it also the typical British grandmother way of having weird homebrewed wines?
Yes.
Things like, right, so again, for any non-Brits listening, our grandparents used to do things like brew wine from like parsnips. I don't know what the American word for a parsnip is. Carrot wine would be another one. They'd brew wine from weird root vegetables and stuff.
Oh,
Very peculiar.
Yeah.
Now this is a different opening for a slasher film.
That's unexpected.
I hate
April
this
Fool.
Jack in the Box.
Have either of you two been gotten by an April Fool recently?
No, not recently.
Not for a long
Growing up
time.
with the older brother who was always scaring me and doing pranks on me. So, but not just for April Fools.
I was recently an April Fool. My wife made an April Fool of me, which is rare. I am normally so on edge with paranoia during April 1st that I believe nothing. But she sent me something that I wanted to believe so much that I couldn't help it. She sent me an article about how Las Vegas is finally getting a Six Flags opening up soon. Like they're breaking ground on a Six Flags theme park here. And I was so happy as I was scrolling through this article when it said, "We gotcha, April Fools." And I wept. I wanted it so bad.
Well, don't forget there was a Paramount theme park, I believe, for a short while in Vegas.
There was MGM theme
Oh, sorry,
park.
MGM theme park. Sorry, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
They tore it down.
So I'm just trying to look at his camera he's using to record.
Yes. And actually, all the footage of him recording in this movie is actually him, the actor.
Is it? Wow.
The recording. But yeah.
Would you step on this barge?
Very.
No. That would not be.
Yep, that's like my uncle's. My uncle had a video camera like that in the 80s, where you had the big shoulder pack with the tape recorder on it.
Yeah.
So what's interesting is that the music for this film is composed by Charles Bernstein, who did A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Cujo and the Entity. And
Is Charles related to Elmer?
He probably is.
Let's have a look. Charles Bernstein.
All great soundtracks, actually, but I would not have picked the same person for all of those. That's some range that he's expressing.
Yes.
I was just going to say, because it's quite interesting, because this film was also produced by Frank Mancuso Jr., who is the son of the legendary Frank Mancuso, who was the bigwig at Paramount behind all the Star Trek films.
Right, and Frank Mancuso Jr. is behind all the Friday the 13th films series. That's why Amy Steele is in this movie, because he wanted her to be in this film because she was in Friday the 13th Part 2.
I want to address something that Sharon has called me out on, about how I should never believe anything I hear on April 1st ever. I am conditioned, because I'm British. In the UK, April Fool's Day ends at midday. If you try and fool someone after midday, you are in fact the fool. I need to readjust, because now I need to reassess the fact that I can't trust anyone on April Fool's Day at all. There's no cut-off period.
I have an uncle who was born on April Fool's Day.
Wow.
Poor guy.
I'm definitely getting some kind of vibes from some of the cast, the way they look, that I think they were trying to kind of take on that kind of Brat Pack 80s kind of other movie vibe.
Yes.
Everyone has like a stereotype that they're fitting into.
The guy in the check shirt who just checked his flies, I'm getting strong Kevin Bacon in Footloose vibes from.
Yes.
Well, he kind of looks like Kevin Bacon.
You know, he was in Leprechaun. He's kind of known for the film Leprechaun in the 90s.
Okay.
And then he was also in Summer School. And his name is Kenneth Alden. And the reason why I'm so excited about him is that when I looked him up on IMDb, he's from Richmond, California. That's my hometown. No one is ever from Richmond, California, or even knows about Richmond, California. So I was stoked.
I'm never happy whenever I hear people are from Birmingham, England. It's always a bad sign when they're from Birmingham, England. Ozzy Osbourne is probably the only exception. You see, that pickup line wouldn't work these days. Someone tries to cough near you, you'd be like,
yeah, that's true.
Run away!
Neil Whaley says, by the way, over on YouTube, Dom, that you're not missing much at Six Flags and hello from Texas.
Hello from Las Vegas. We have nothing here. We have nothing.
Goodness me, I wasn't expecting that kind of shot in the film to suddenly appear on screen.
It does have surprises.
Yes, it does. No, but he's one of my favorite actors from the 80s. He was like all in Just One of the Guys, which was a really popular kind of 80s film. I don't know if either of you have seen it. kind of the flipping of, usually they take a geeky girl and make her popular. And this one they take the geeky guy and make him popular.
Yep. Which movie were you saying, sorry?
Just one of the guys.
Just one of the guys.
That he starred in with Deborah Goodrich.
Oh, I was thinking of Can't Buy Me Love, which is a very similar film to.
Oh yeah, that's another very similar one. Yes.
Yeah.
Someone said a discount Val Kilmer. Poor man's Val Kilmer.
Mad Matt, the correct term now is Val Kilmer from Wish.com.
Well, yeah, we have Wish.com Kevin Bacon as well. Like, it's great.
That's right.
Exactly.
How long have they been on this? How long have they been on this sort of boat waiting for something to happen for? Because the sun in some of the shots appears to be going down.
I think they've been on this boat for maybe half an hour.
Yeah. When pranks go wrong, right?
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Or not.
That was a very elaborate prank.
Playing the long
Yes,
con.
exactly, right?
Well, thank you at Mayor Hart for subscribing to us. That's fantastic. But that's like some movie prop level pranking.
Right.
The one guy's catching everything on film, so make it interesting, make it film worthy.
Exactly. Experts.
Have either of you two pulled incredibly elaborate pranks on anyone?
I convinced my mother of an alien invasion once, which is probably my greatest. So
What?
I'll explain. I'll explain. If we all remember, this was many years ago. If you remember the film Independence Day,
Yes.
it had various news agencies around the world saying about the alien invasion, showing the ships coming through in the atmosphere and everything happening. Well, on the original release of the Independence Day DVD, there was footage from our news channel there with our regular newsreaders reading it, saying about, they used so it was Sky News, which is a big UK news channel, and it showed, but it was, the clip from the movie was actually put on the disc as an extra, as the actual clip. Not with the movie wraparound with it, with a full news report that the aliens were invading, etc. So what I did was played the DVD and called my mother through while the thing about the alien ships are coming through the atmosphere, and my mother perceived it to actually be, oh God.
I was waiting for you to recognize what was happening.
What the hell's going on?
I didn't want to say, Andrew, you may want to pause your story for a moment because that would have given it away. Essentially, he was in the water and the boat was
Crushing him.
towards the dock.
Yeah. He got crushed.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But hey, it could have been worse for him. It doesn't look like the eye was severed. Just pop it right back in.
But just a weird side note, and we'll get back to Andrew's story. That scene was like life imitating art, because this movie came out in March of '86, and in May of '86, Griffin O'Neill, the actor who plays Skip in this movie, he was in a boating accident. Well, he caused a boating accident in real life where he ended up killing the son of Francis Ford Coppola.
Wow.
Francis' 23-year-old son was killed in that boating accident. And Griffin O'Neill was convicted of, he was charged with manslaughter, but was convicted of negligence and got community service. But he had to serve 18 days in jail because he didn't do his community service. So that happened like that same year. And he cause another boating incident.
I wonder if with these weird accidents, it's connected to Thomas F. Wilson. Now, bear with me. I don't know if you know about this, but Elizabeth Shue, at a time around this, had an immense personal tragedy, and this is a serious and a very sad thing. And again, he acted with her in Back to the Future, and he acted with this actor in this. They were at a family reunion in, I think, a cabin they had rented, and one of her brothers was on a tyre swing. The rope snapped, and he was impaled on a tree stump in front of the family and died.
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
Thomas F. Wilson, movies with both.
Oh. Another like poltergeist type curse thing.
Yeah.
I do have to say, the house they are renting is gorgeous, and I want to be there.
It's a bit creepy, though, as well.
I know. I've
I'm
never
fine
been
with
into
it.
those stuffy old manor type homes.
Again, I think it's because I grew up going over to my grandmother's house, and she lives in this large cottage in the middle of England somewhere, and it's musty. It's only lit by natural light, pretty much. Much like this, having the natural light just ooze in and give it an old, nearly haunted atmosphere.
Right.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes, student cooking,
Yes, very, very classy.
student cuisine.
Beans and dogs.
Yeah, but they're American beans, not like, I think you referenced this the other week, Dom, not like our beans.
Yeah, they're not proper baked beans. Can't have beans on toast with those beans. They're too
No.
barbecuey.
This scene
Good for
was
chili, though.
improvised with the girls in the kitchen and the Cosmopolitan magazines. Oh, you as guys were spared from the pressure of Cosmo. Hey,
Is that with all the surveys you had to do?
yes, all the surveys and what ifs and all this stuff. So apparently the actress like brought the magazine on set, and the director overheard them talking about it, and he was like, "Oh, we should put this in the film." And so he kind of just let them improvise the scene.
So is she cooking beans out a can and adding wieners or hot dogs to it?
Hopefully
Yes.
not.
'Cause you-
No, the wieners on the skillet being cooked separately.
Oh, well, I'm going to post something in our Discord, Carla, that might shock you. Dom, don't say anything yet. These are a British staple that you can buy. Let's paste this in our Discord for everyone if you think that's worrying you. We can buy canned beans with sausages in them.
Oh my gosh. You guys just cut out the middleman, huh? You just-
Yeah,
And it's one of your 5 a day, apparently.
yeah.
Wow.
Nutritious and delicious.
Wow.
And the sausages in there don't even have proper hot dog or sausage texture. They are... You could actually blow on one of the sausages and nearly break. They are so soft.
You could
Oh my
chew them
God.
without teeth.
Yeah.
I know the sodium must be through the roof in those cans. Oh my gosh. I'm having a stroke just thinking about it.
It's nice that whoever owns this house left the cigars there,
Left a box of
isn't it?
cigars. He's thieving.
Exactly. They filmed this in British Columbia, Canada. So that's why it's like beautiful scenery, lake.
I
It's
like
supposed to
the
be sort of. Is
music.
it supposed to be sort of a New England location they're in though in the film?
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be like Maine.
Yeah, that seems about right. The music's giving me like X-Files vibes.
It's quite a slow burner so far in parts. It's not. We had sort of one jokey attack and one accident.
Right. Yes. And I think they were wanting to round out, and what kind of made this different from slashers of the day is they're trying to really round out the characters. So you kind of get a sense but characters, and like they're slowly kind of dropping clues. Like there's some discontent with Skip. He's drinking, and there's
Yeah.
just a weird vibe,
And this girl's dressing like she's wearing mom jeans right now.
right? Seems a little bit out of place.
Yeah.
Well, someone was wearing a kitchen doily earlier.
Now, Deborah Foreman, love her from Valley Girl to Waxwork to Real Genius, but she almost did not get cast in this role. She had to audition several times, and they were going with Leanna Quigley. They wanted Leanna Quigley for the film, but she had committed to doing The Return of the Living Dead, so she couldn't do this film. And I always thought, as much as I love Leanna Quigley, I thought that Deborah Foreman, like it worked out for her to be in this role.
I believe so too.
They've got some very elaborate pranks in this house.
I know.
Including that complicated chair where the legs fall out and then spring back on you.
It's amazing. I wish I had that ingenuity as a kid.
Although
Whoopee cushions are a staple, though.
Although I don't need a springing chair to fall out of chairs. Let's just say I'm quite clumsy. Oh, the little dolls. Little Barbies.
I'm kind of enjoying the weird combination of they've got sort of proper cut silverware for certain stuff and a candelabra, yet they're eating with plastic forks.
Yes. And they each have their own Barbie doll. That's a place setting, I guess.
I think if I was a privileged, independent adult pretending to be a kid in this house, I would equally eat beans and hot dogs with plastic cutlery.
Serious question now, though. Who is having trouble imagining at the moment Thomas F. Wilson being anything else than Biff in this movie?
Well, you know what's funny is that for me, I recognize him from this film first and then Back to the Future. Like in my mind, he's always been this character first and then Biff. So I know it's backwards. But yeah.
Maybe that's one of the things with his career, though. Did that typecast him potentially as well?
Man, his career, he is not hurting for jobs. He's a stand-up comedian, like Laugh Factory, like big time in LA. He acted in these films. He's an artist, filmmaker. He does a lot of voiceover work, SpongeBob, SquarePants, these Superman, the animated Tales or Adventures of Superman. And he loves, like, he really enjoyed playing Biff, those roles, and that role in Back to the Future, because he said that he was bullied as a child, and so that's where he got Biff from, was the person who bullied him as a child. But no, I always seen him as this and Biff.
Yeah. Sharon seeing him just as McFly, hello. That's all she sees when she sees him on the screen. Neil says, Biff filters away as the film progresses.
Yeah, I'd say that his role as Biff is so bright that it does shine a enormous light. And I wouldn't say it takes away from the character he's playing here. Like has been discussed, the Biff does fizzle out as the movie goes on, because the character he's playing and his acting range is as strong as it is. He can outlive Biff if he wanted to. I just don't think he wants to.
The nerf of her says, cherish the friends you make in watch parties. Words to live by.
Yes.
Was this written as sort of a horror twist on, The Breakfast Club, St. Elmo's Fire, that kind of the era?
It definitely appears to be. I would argue most slasher movies were trying that. They wanted to have their cake and eat it too, of make a cheap horror movie, but have character development with these interesting characters such as Bimbo #1, who has sex and dies, and
I'm waiting for the cigar to
Yuck.
explode. I've not seen this before, but I'm calling that as the prank.
wouldn't have exploded already.
I don't know. Depends how far into it the explosive is.
God, imagine that, packing your explosive like just slightly half deep into the cigar. Let them get nice and comfortable.
Exactly.
Developing trust issues 101. Oh, shall I go collar up then? There we go.
Wow, the outfits in this film,
They're
the
so
fashion,
extravagant. Yeah.
so 80s, so 80s. A lot of lace and sheer tops in it.
Yeah. I keep getting Potsy from Happy Days vibes from this guy.
I get yuppie.
Yeah. I also get D-bag feelings from him as well.
He would pick the room that's incredibly nautical as well, wouldn't he?
Right, exactly. It's giving me oh God, what was that song that was so popular? Sailing by Christopher in the 80s.
What, Christaberg?
You guys remember that song called Sailing?
Sailing, no.
It like won a Grammy beating out like Tina Turner and like
Sharon says by Christopher Cross.
yes.
And Skoj says it is. Bikey says it is. Yeah, Christopher Cross. You see, that's what's wonderful about these watch parties with our community. It's like having just any fact you want. It's like that.
They
You get it.
are on it. They are on it.
Looking at that radiator in the background, I can already feel like burns on my wrist.
Neil says it was Christopher Cross as well over on YouTube.
Yep. Thank you.
Has he brought his own coat hangers? Oh, no, he probably got it from there.
So now we start to see some additional clues,
Yeah.
hints.
I mean, if I'm trying to link up some of these characters to some ones I've seen in other 80s films, I would say this guy here, I'm getting kind of a Bender from... oh, was that the cigar going?
There you go.
Yep, there we go. I called it.
There you go.
I called it. I'm getting a John Bender kind of feeling from Breakfast Club with him. That kind of maybe a cross between him and Ducky. That kind of half punk look.
Right.
I like how malformed the spoon is.
I can't help but think back to that episode of The Simpsons where they're with the April Fools, where there's lots of very serious pranks happening against Moe. They put like a snake in the till, and they're doing all this horrendous stuff to him. And then Homer just loosens the lid on the sugar or the salt, and he tips it, and everyone goes, "Oh, you took it too far."
Yeah.
I've got a feeling it's going to be something like, "Oh, I always found those cat clocks really creepy."
Yes.
This feels like an escape room. Like I'm trying to figure out ways I would escape certain situations.
Everyone is hiding a secret.
What, a baby in the wardrobe?
Where else would you keep your babies? Admittedly, I think this is the one prank where I probably wouldn't approach with like
Exactly. It went a
Yeah.
bit too far.
concern, I'd be like, oh, come on.
This one was a little bit. It's like, oh,
All the others,
Right.
yeah, I'd be like kind of concerned, and I'd think it might be genuine. But this one, nah, someone planted this here.
right, right.
I get they're playing some pranks, but some of the pranks are. But then again, I suppose it's a realistic reflection that some pranks just don't work.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I think, kind of giving them hints of their past that they might have been trying to forget makes everyone kind of unsettled,
Yeah.
Although I don't remember anything for this couple, for Rob and Kit. They don't reveal anything from their past that they found in their room.
I couldn't sleep in that room for one simple reason: it's not got proper blackening on the windows. The curtains, there's no blackout blind, and the curtains are too see-through.
Far too see-through.
Yeah.
And here we go.
This is the kind of prank I would probably play on somebody. Electrical or computer related.
Right.
Right, unplug the lamp.
Right.
There was a guy I worked with. Actually, yeah, we used to do a lot of pranks. It wasn't April Fool's, but one of the pranks I played on him was I set his wallpaper on his computer to a picture of Jean-Claude Van Damme in a big love heart. And every time he restarted his computer or tried to change it or do anything, it would come back and he couldn't figure out how I'd done it. He could change it back on the computer, and then like 5 minutes later it just changed back to the Van Damme picture.
So how did you do it? Share your secrets.
Oh, I won't share my computer secrets.
I'm noticing the collar up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've popped my collar as well in honor. Had to find a shirt with a collar that I could wear in Vegas heat.
And he is shut down.
Denied.
Yes. So, funny story. I think the scene is coming up. So I was watching this with my mom last night, and I think I don't know, she doesn't remember seeing it. So this is kind of like her first time watching the film. And she did enjoy it. But there was this one scene coming up that was slightly dreading. I think it's coming. Dom, you might know.
I've got a
Remember what I'm
hint, yeah.
talking about. Yeah. This scene right here. And my mom was like, "What are they doing?" And I was like, "They're playing Twister." She was
Yep.
like, she said, "I thought Twister's supposed to be played on the floor."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, well, this is a different type of Twister.
It's like when I was a kid, if I was ever watching a movie with my parents and something inappropriate came out, I'd be like, "Anyone want a cup of tea? I'm going to the kitchen." Yeah, I know.
It was like,
Right. It's dark. Everything's wobbling. As soon as you get there, I wouldn't even if they aren't tricked, I wouldn't be going down those stairs in the dark.
no, not those particularly. Those look very steep and very scary.
Yeah, it's one of the scariest staircases since The Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm no herbologist. What
Welcome,
kind of
Archives Girl.
leaf?
Archives Girl joining us on YouTube. I can't see the movie, only these three people. That's because, Archives Girl, you will need your own copy of the movie to play along. Unfortunately, due to copyright reasons, we cannot stream movies online. You need your own copy to play along yourself.
And we all synchronize up and watch it together.
That's right. Okay, we're seeing a really creepy boathouse.
Admittedly, on vacations in England specifically, whenever I find creepy cottages that are nearby, I tend to wander and go into places that would definitely, if I was in a horror film, get me killed first.
Yeah, but Dom, that's only because you want to see if the monster from Extra's there.
That's true. Yeah, I went to a dairy, like an old English cottage down the south of England, and it had a dairy nearby, and we had a key to the dairy for some reason in the house. So I went to the dairy. It was pitch black. It was terrifying. There was cellars and such, and there's. If you've ever been into like a dairy, ooh, spooks time. It was like it's such an odd building. There was like this sacrificial table, like an altar, and like a way for I don't know milk, I guess, to be strained down. It was weird. It was so surreal. I've got a video on my phone somewhere of me exploring this crazy place. I will dig it out and I will get it posted at some point.
Just a quick thing, did anyone in the late 80s or 90s, even if you didn't smoke, do that with a disposable Bic lighter, where you'd take the metal bit off the top and you'd lift the sort of the wheel to alter the flame size and turn it and turn it and turn it, and then when you clicked it, you'd get a huge flame out the lighter like he had. It used to be a thing all my friends would do, because you'd buy 3 disposable Bic lighters for £1, even though you didn't smoke, just to have a lighter because it was cool.
Yeah, I definitely did that as well.
Yeah. No, I was not a pyromaniac in training, so no, I did not.
Oh, okay.
Do that.
Oh, Sharon's saying she did that. She was a smoker for many years.
Someone had a rough night. In my feet.
Happens to me all the time.
I also see Rafcon. There's also joined us over on YouTube.
Welcome.
Fraglord, I can see, is joining as well. House of Dead was on Ireland as well.
House of the Dead, we don't talk about the film of House of the Dead. It was so horrifically disappointing.
So I have to admit, I would probably be that student that would bring my work with me if I was behind.
Right. Yeah.
Get caught up. Yeah, I probably wouldn't actually do anything because I would be too distracted. But yeah.
I don't know what happened to me.
You'd be angry at yourself for not joining in the fun.
Right. And then I think to myself, why did I drag all these books with me in the first place?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was such a slacker. I put off work all the time. And something happened in my life that just flicked a switch. And now if I have work that needs to be done, I don't rest until it is done because I feel guilty about it.
Wow.
I miss being fun. I don't know what happened to me.
You became an adult.
I hate it. I want to go back to being a kid.
Sorry if I've missed it in this film. Whose parents or family member does this several $million mansion belong to in the movie?
Muffy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so she is inheriting the estate.
Okay.
Yes.
God, that's channeling some Kevin Bacon there.
Yeah.
He's going to dance when the rage is upon him in a minute through a warehouse, swinging on the chains and stuff.
Or get an arrow through his neck.
Now, a little trivia for the folks that we all know Amy Steele from Friday the 13th, but what other popular, I think it was late 80s, early 90s film did she play with Howie Mandel? Do we know the title? It used to come on all the time on cable. I watched it way too many times. Embarrassing, but at the time I was a kid. I didn't know any better. So if anyone knows the name to that film.
I don't get it. I don't get this. Obviously, it's supposed to be the teenage hormones running through these 30-year-old man, but the urges to get freaky in the dirty, grotty boat shed when they've got a perfectly serviceable private bedroom to go to. Yeah.
You ignore the grime and filth when the horn comes a knocking.
Leanne says 30-year-old men and women. It's not as bad as... What was it we were watching?
30-year-old teenagers.
What was that we were watching? Oh, it was Nightmare on Elm Street, wasn't it, Dom?
Yes.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
The 30-year-old teenager. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Now that'll kill the mood for real. That doesn't kill the mood. Yeah.
Is he drinking his... Okay, so is he drinking his beer with a straw, or... I don't think... No, I think I know what he's doing. It's not drinking it with a straw. He's using it for pressure relief.
Yes, so he can chug.
So he can shotgun it.
Oh.
Jesse Flores over on YouTube might have got the answer, Carla, which they're saying, Walk Like a Man, the Howie movie.
Yes, you are correct. Walk Like a Man. Where Howie Mandel plays a child that was raised by either dogs or wolves or gorillas or something. But he's alone and he stands to inherit like millions of dollars from his family. But in order to do so, he has to be a civilized man. And so Amy Steele is hired to teach him how to be a human adult. Yeah.
That's one that missed me by.
Yeah.
So which item of yours, if your friends were to find a item that is so intrinsically linked to you as a human being, what would this item be when they find it ashore, snapped in two, and they automatically know that Carla's in trouble or Andrew's in trouble?
Just got to say, Neil says he's learning. I think Neil's inferring he's learning bad habits from us. He says he's learning so much today about lighters and beer pressure. Yes.
Pyromania and the ability to chug alcohol quicker.
Yeah.
Exactly. What item of mine?
Yeah, what is Skip's knife for Carla?
Okay, listen. I can't believe I'm saying this in public. When I was a child, I remember going to Pier 39 with my mom in San Francisco, and I was obsessed with everything Victorian, like Victorian's house and everything like that. And so we went to this like Victorian doll shop, and I got this teddy bear in this like Victorian dress. Mm-hmm. And that was probably when I was like 14, 13. I still have it. It has gone to college with me. It has gone to Costa Rica with me. It has gone everywhere with me. I still have it. And so that's what, if you found that like destroyed, you would know that I'm in trouble.
Okay.
When we have the CREATORVC vacation somewhere in the woods where we're going to get killed by some horrific monster, I'll keep an eye out for that then.
Yes, keep an eye out for my little teddy bear.
As for me, I don't know what would be so personal to me as to...
You have no artifacts that are intrinsically Andrew?
Not that I can think of particularly, no. I'm looking at my office and everything. There's nothing here that isn't replaceable. I think that's one of the things I realised as I got older in life. Physical things can always somehow be replaced.
I think my thing would be incredibly boring, and honestly, if it does get wound up and found destroyed, I doubt people even know what it is, but it's my father's pen.
Oh, well, that's
similar
that's
to Carla's doll. This has been with me My whole life, actually, now that I think about it.
Yep.
How mean of a prank is this?
Or is it a prank? Or is
Yeah.
it?
Well, I don't know. If you kill someone and you prank them first, I suppose it's still a prank. Haha, surprise, you're dead.
April Fools!
Yeah.
Why is there a Buddhist, like, temple here?
Why not?
Like a,
No, the reason
worship
it could be, might not even be a Buddhist temple. It's just like a little garden thing that I suppose of the
It's a
era
garden
was fashion.
ornament.
Yeah, it would have been fashionable to have.
Poor Nan. She's really going through it. She's not having a good time.
No.
See, now for me, if I was in this film, the film would be over because I would have
Yeah.
left. I would be like, I'm out. Peace. Like, I'll go get help.
Yeah.
I'd be dead.
As-
We've already established this. I would have walked off and got killed immediately.
Raider Nation 87 says glass screen divider for safe snake handling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about the de-evolution of Muffy? Like, she is completely on something or what?
Yeah.
She looks like she's gone through it. Yes. Sharon says this movie is all over the place with the April Fools being the link. Still haven't figured out the ending yet, but Muffy does appear off.
Yeah. I agree with Sharon there. It's... I would say there's some weird stuff going on in that house because look how clean that toaster is.
No toaster's that clean.
No
And
toaster's that
the
clean.
food chopper. As you can tell, I'm a chef. I know all the technical terminology for kitchen utensils.
The food chopper.
Processor?
The blender, we call it, Dom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The blender. It's pristine. Well, yeah, of course, they're cooking beans in a pot.
Yeah, Sharon's got it. Bunch of college kids with a clean kitchen, no freaking way. Yeah. Lost Highway 69 says, I'm not a fan of Amy Steele's hairstyle in this film.
I am a fan of the shirt with the tie, though. I do like that look.
Yeah.
That's very similar to Tawny in Witchboard.
Oh, yeah. I was never brave enough to, like, be fashionable as a kid. I didn't have the energy to, like, put outfits together. No.
Pretty sure my fashion sense has been the same since I was fresh from the womb. I just put on clothing, expect it to work.
There'll be a body in the well. There's always a body in the well.
Right?
I don't know how comfortable I'd be drinking water from a well.
I know.
Of course, yeah.
Now, without going too much into it, some friends of mine for a company I worked for were doing the computer support at a water treatment plant. And they got shown by the engineers at the waste treatment section that all or most water treatment plants for wastewater have very large tomato plants growing in parts. And let's leave it there.
Oh no.
Would you go down?
No, hell no.
This is one trope I would not do. I have incredible fear of water that I can't see into deeply. There's a section in a horror game called Resident Evil Village, came out very recently, which is just like this. You have to descend into a well, and I was petrified. Descending to that well, I was like, no, 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 no.
Oh my gosh. Man, this actress, she did this stunt herself. The exteriors were shot on location, but the interior was on a soundstage and like a tank, like 3 feet of water. She said the water was disgusting.
It looks it.
Yeah,
And they're thinking of drinking it. It looks like soup.
No, it was murky. She said you had the crew members like with cigarette butts in the water and old coffee cups.
And Thomas F. Wilson's head. And
He ended up getting an ear infection for 3 weeks.
Gotta love grey water.
Oh.
I'm surprised I didn't get more infections as a kid, because I lived in England right next to a huge river.
Ooh.
And I played in that river all the time, and I guarantee it was horrifically disgusting.
Well, I was so accident prone as a child. A few years ago, before I went to Mexico, I went to get some vaccinations. And they pulled up, in the UK, we have the NHS, and it has like every doctor can access all your health history. They're going through sort of the standard vaccinations to go to Mexico. And they established that I'd been so accident prone as a child, I'd had sufficient tetanus injections, so I was beyond the threshold to have permanent immunity to it.
Wow.
From my number of accidents. You have to apparently, if you have more than 10 jabs, you obtain permanent immunity to tetanus.
Yes.
Wow.
And you shouldn't be having Gravaxis more than like once every 10 years as well. So you must have hurt yourself a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget, I was a pyromaniac. I was fair, healed quite well. One of the worst things I did, I burnt all this finger here. I burnt all the skin from there to there off. All there.
Oh, you were a pyromaniac.
I burnt it off, and they actually had to have surgery where they had to cut all the dead skin off.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
painful.
Yeah.
So now we're getting some more clues about who could possibly be doing this. So they thought it was the guy who was injured, who got injured.
I'm going with it's the creepy brown-haired girl who's carrying bowls around her kitchen.
Tidying up? A teenager who tidies up?
Yeah, exactly.
Something doesn't add up.
And what kind of psychopath have they got where the phone line to the house hasn't been cut yet?
Hasn't read the manual, clearly.
No, exactly.
Well, you really don't need to cut the phone line to the house if you cut off access to the house, to the island.
That's true, the police aren't going to turn up.
Yeah, but they could
anytime
fly a
soon, are they?
helicopter over or something if it's the police. The police would have access to alternative means to get there. I say cut the power and the phone.
Ah.
And I love it how it's like, okay, we're going to all just wait here and stay together. Nope, we're splitting up. Oh, you're going over there. You're going over there. Okay.
Go to the Winchester and wait for this all to blow over. And break. Everyone split up and look for clues.
Exactly.
The problem is they're sealing themselves in. Are they keeping people out or keeping everything in with what they're doing at the moment?
Right.
The killer isn't trapped in with them. They're trapped in with the killer.
Please close the curtains now. Please close the
You just start
curtains.
hearing knocking on the outside. Let me in! I want to kill you! Come on! It's no fun if you don't let me in.
And in fact, you're actually making it worse for someone potentially outside you're making it easier for someone outside to know where you are by turning the inside light on. I'm making it harder to see outside if you think the person's outside. It's too obvious that it's going to be her as the killer.
And look at the shoes she's wearing. That alone should give it away.
Sporting strong Kathy Bates in Misery vibes.
Oh yeah,
Quite.
that's a good one, Dom. Now I see it.
Killer shoes.
Definitely a killer's shoes, yeah.
Oh man, I could smell that, like, suitcase.
Luggage.
Yeah.
And is the gun going to... Yep, that's right. You tuck it in so you blow your ass off.
Yes. It's the safest place for it.
Oh, Sharon might be onto something. That picture had 2 kids in it.
Who's the other kid?
Clodhoppers?
Yep.
That's another word I need to add to my lexicon.
You not heard the term clodhopper before to describe a
No.
clunky, unfashionable shoe? Back in my day, in 1846...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I went to some kid who was, like, roasting me on his TikTok these days and said, you clodhopper, wouldn't faze them at all.
So another bit of trivia. What does this film have in common with Beverly Hills Cop that I just posted a poster of in the chat? Any ideas?
I do
with
not
a
know.
Beverly Hills Cop.
I also have not had a car accident.
Yeah, I did. Didn't have a tetanus shot from that, though. Actually, I walked away with just a bit of bruising when I managed to spin my Mercedes across the motorway at 70 miles an hour in the rain.
Oh God.
So let me see if I can find a photo of that while we're watching this.
Oh my gosh. So I should say, okay, so it's kind of a trick question with the Beverly Hills Cop. The thing that they have in common is the writer. So the guy who wrote all of the Beverly Hills Cop films,
Okay.
whose name is Danilo Bacco, wrote this film as well. Which again, like Charles Bernstein with the range, it's like, wow.
Yeah. I suppose comedy is so close to horror. If you just change certain things, you can make them infinitely more frightening. Like the music, it can make a scene sinister when it's supposed to be comedic. But you are right, the writing chops to be able to write a successful trilogy of films that are funny and then have a horror film that I'd argue has some good scares in it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It looks like a bright sunny day. How was it rainy?
You might remember, Dom, it was in 2018 where we had that sort of 3 months of incredibly hot weather in the UK, and then it rained briefly. I was driving down the motorway, and because it rained briefly, all the rubber had gathered on the surface, and I hydroplaned. Back end went out, and the car just went across 3 lanes of the motorway.
I'm glad you're all right.
Yes. Yeah, we're all right. It's just a bit of bruising, but car was a write-off. But Shows how good German cars are for safety. So there we go.
Well, I mean, you hydroplaned all over them. No, that's not the car's fault.
No.
All right, Andrew, you've had enough time with these characters. Who do you want to be alive at the end?
Well, I can see that Chaz is going to die.
Not Chaz.
He's going to I can see he's inevitably going to die because he's the comedy relief.
When has that worked?
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here and meditate while my friends are dying around me.
Also, Nikki, I'm assuming she went in the water or something, which is why she had the towel around her neck and her hair's wet. Why is her makeup perfect?
Waterproof makeup.
The
Not back.
wonder of 80s makeup.
Yeah. Giant lip smacker the size of her. Giant lipsticks for doing both lips in your forehead at the same time. I remember my sister had one of those. Okay, now he's cosplaying as Zorro.
Which means he has an affiliation for disguises. Perhaps he's the killer.
Now he's Lord Humongous.
There's a time and place for everything, and that's not the time.
Not now, no. Edward the Black Prince is right. I'm getting very strong Scooby-Doo vibes from this. Is there going to be a power cut shortly in the film? Because I noticed candles, unlit candles, seem to be dotted around in various places.
I haven't seen the Courage the Cowardly Dog crossover with Scooby-Doo yet. I should watch it, because I enjoyed both of those shows.
Dead.
I think so far, which death has been the most like creative or interesting?
I don't think I've seen any deaths that have been that clever
Okay.
so far. I don't think I've seen anything particularly like, oh, that was a really intricate, and maybe the snake one, but I don't think it was.
I can't remember the name of it. I've been trying to think of it the entire way through this film. You know, Andrew knows his screenwriting.
Yes.
But there is another April Fool's Day horror film from the 80s, which does have some very creative kills.
Yes. There are two other films that came out on April Fool's Day in 1986. I think that was the first year that they really focused on April Fool's Day in terms of horror films. Can anyone name the films? And the
Please
one in
help me,
particular that
chat.
Don was talking about? Yes.
How is the light shining in that way when the moon isn't outside? It's a cloudy night. Are there lights downstairs shining up at the windows?
The moon is reflecting off of the water and shining it like a
Yeah,
spotlight.
but they just showed the lake. And
Is there like a lighthouse somewhere? Maybe?
I think they've just got the lighting a bit wrong.
An error? To light a
Error
scene?
in the film?
Impossible. Inconceivable.
Someone didn't pick up their toys again.
That's creepy.
Their toys.
They're just playing Elf on the Shelf out of season. Oh, is that a dollhouse in the back as well? Ugh.
Doll Castle. Okay, and what's that next to it? Is that a bowl with bones and blood in?
That's supposed to be it's
Oh,
a
nice.
well.
Nice. Well.
Well, yeah.
So it's kind of recreating the murder scenes that we're seeing in
Right.
the movie.
Right. I love how they have the blood laid out on that doll. There it is.
Oh, there's now. Is that fireworks going off outside?
Flares, I think.
Flares.
So no guesses on the two other films that were April Fool's Day films that came out in '86. Nothing from
My brain
YouTube or
No.
My brain is so empty with it. Like I'm reaching for the name of the film. I can see the VHS cover in my brain. A skeletal teacher holding out an apple to the camera, the point of view. I think it was supposed to be called April Fool's Day, but or April Fool's.
Oh, Onzi might have
There was
something
this
there for
movie
you.
that came out.
nope, not that one.
Okay, so. I'm kind of guessing she's the only one who's realistically going to survive this movie.
Well, she is one of the top final girls of the '80s.
Oh, Jesse Fry says Killer Party over on
Yes, that's one of them. Yep.
and Slaughter High.
Yep.
Slaughter
There we-
High.
Jesse,
Thank you.
You got it.
You got it.
Oh, and the nerf of her on Discord says, I want to say Killer Party.
Yep. Killer Party and Slaughter High.
Ooh,
In the
that's a
UK,
VHS
did you
cover that
guys
I
have
like.
films that would come out that they were themed like horror holiday films?
Potentially, but a lot of some films were retitled here. If it was a holiday, we didn't.
Celebrate.
Yeah.
We had like a lot of TV specials.
Yeah.
Like the Doctor Who Christmas special is to this day still a big thing.
I tell you, the one thing I'd love to do a watch party for, but I'm not sure how we'd even fit it in. I want to do Ghost Watch one day for us.
Yes. Oh my
The
gosh.
BBC drama. Maybe we could fit it in.
Oh, that would be awesome. I love it.
Robin enjoys the Five Doctors. And Sharon said, you saw Ghostwatch last year and it was amazing. Well, maybe we could look at the schedule, Carla. Maybe we could look at the schedule for this year. Robin's saying we should do Ghostwatch.
Yes.
There we go. We have the okay.
We have the okay.
That was such an amazing film because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just kind of happened upon it on a lazy Sunday afternoon. Not really knew nothing about it at all. And I started watching it. I was blown away.
Well, let's have a... Guess what then? I'm exercising my power to alter the watch party schedule. We are doing Ghostwatch this year.
Yay!
I have now put it in the diary.
Heard it here first, folks. I'm not sure where else you'd hear it, but you heard it here first.
Robin's saying his story about it. His mum totally flipped out from it, which is understandable. A lot of people do.
Yeah, I can understand that. It was almost kind of like the Blair Witch for this time, for that time.
It was kind of cross between that and the live broadcast of War of the Worlds. I won't go too far into it, but it was broadcast as a live drama in the UK, as a live show in the UK at the time. There's a lot of interesting stuff about it. Yeah, and Robin saying his mother thought it was real. That was really common, but we'll save that for that watch party, but it won't be too far off, and that's going to be a fantastic one.
Yay. Okay, so we have some more clues. So we have the two horror movie tropes happening. We have the maybe there's a sibling or a twin we don't know about. And we have the mental escaped patient trope. And we have them in the same movie. So there you go.
It's a lot of tropes being ticked off at the moment.
Yes.
It's like the writer had a checklist.
And I think they did that on purpose because, of course, the producer had done so many other slasher films, right? This is kind of an opportunity to be a little tongue in cheek with the slasher.
It fits in with the April Fool's theme as well, because when you are
Yeah.
paranoid during April Fool's Day and you're looking for all the classic traps you could fall into, like a whoopee
Right.
cushion or a dud door, a cigar that blows in your mouth, you're mentally going through this checklist and saying what can and can't be happening to you, like the audience is currently doing with all the horror tropes that are happening. I mean, Andrew's been calling them out quite a lot, saying, he's dead, that's going to happen.
Right.
And that's part of the fun.
Yeah. I don't know why. My gut feeling is he is going to turn on her.
Time will tell.
He is going to be the other one's brother or something like that.
You know, in movies, I guess, you know, you can hotwire a car. I guess you can't do that with a boat. They always have to go back in the house with keys for the boat. Close, Muffy's clothes.
I wonder how easy it is to hotwire a boat. I wonder if it's pretty identical to hotwiring a car. Not that I know how to do that.
Well, I guess it depends on what kind of boat it is. If it's a boat where it's got sort of the steering wheel up the front and you've got the key in the ignition, it's probably quite similar. But then if it's a boat where it's just got a motor at the back, possibly it's just you pull the cord, like a mower.
Mm-hmm.
There's also oars, like, everywhere.
Let's see. He's going to hit her behind. He's going to hit her behind the head when she pulls it, and knock her out and tie her up. Oh no! Sharon says another clue. We just saw Muffy and Buffy. Anyone else catch that on the wall?
There's something just funny about the knife just trying to get...
Right? She got through?
It's an elaborate April Fool's prank that she's a serial killer.
I mean, you said it yourself. If you kill people and you pranked them, it's still a prank.
Yeah.
Right.
Look at the size of that blade as well.
I know, right?
What are you cutting with that? people dumb. You cut people with that.
It's
Wait for it.
waiting for the twist. A very twist or a zinger or something.
And
Right.
I would be pissed off.
Oh God, liverwurst.
If this was just an April Fool's prank, the whole film, and no one really died, that's how I would be. Our friendship cannot continue now.
No. Poor Rob. He is losing his closet. Oh my gosh.
So the two of them were not in on it.
No. Like you get that much adrenaline and you're just like
But but why go to?
you'll get an explanation. You'll get the explanation.
What?
Mm-mm-mm. Would you guys do a murder house weekend? Who done it?
Oh, for sure.
Doesn't.
I love the idea of being a detective. So I would have definitely done a whodunit weekend. I love escape rooms as well, so that kind of shtick is right up my alley.
So, as every person was killed off screen, they were revealed that what was going on.
Right.
Yes.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, I think it was clever or the producer, director, writer, whoever, because during that time, the MPAA was just butchering up slasher films, like just editing out all the kills. So in this film, we never saw anyone killed on screen. We just assumed we saw they approached and get caught up in a rope or something like that, and then we'll see the body or the head later. So I thought that was a really neat way of, doing the slash without having a lot of blood and gore, because the MPAA was going to cut it out anyway.
That's a good question. I don't know. Neil Whaley says, weak ending. Throw your milk duds at the screen. Is it wrong I want a further twist where someone's actually going to get killed now, for real?
Well, okay. You would not be wrong. You would not be wrong, because the original ending did have someone get killed. There's actually 2 alternate endings to this film. And in one of them, Skip, who turns out to be her brother, not her cousin, kills Muffy for the inheritance. After everyone's gone and left, he comes up behind her and kills her. And then in the novelization, yes, there's a novelization of this film. They all agree to leave the island, the friends, but they're going to come back secretly and like prank Muffy. And Skip sets it up so that he can kill her, but try to blame it on one of the friends. And what happens is that Rob ends up figuring it out and kills Skip. And so Muffy realizes that her brother was going to try to kill her. And so she loses her mind. And so that was the other ending. That was in the novelization. And the studio heads were like, no, we don't like that. No, it doesn't fit with the film. We do a different ending. And so they did the ending that's coming up. But yeah, so someone actually did get killed in the original. And I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't even know if this is a horror film, because nothing's really horror in it. Yes, Mad Max, it's a non-horror horror film. Onzi, it's a no-death slasher movie. Yeah.
It's essentially a big Scooby-Doo episode.
It is.
I can say I have enjoyed this more watching it with someone who does not know the twist is coming.
Right.
And seeing your face, Andrew, as the reveal was happening was, it was food for my heart. It was great.
I will say the twist was at what the hell? Well, here's a question. Anyone in our chat who's watching this, who has seen this for the first time, what do you all think of this ending?
Right.
By the sound of it, the consensus, they agree with you.
Right. It is a bit of a letdown. I mean, because it's, the way it's marketed as a slasher film and we're used to slashers. But for me, I think if you watch it a few times and revisit it, you might grow a bit fond of it. But for the first time, if you're going in expecting like another Jason or something, then it's...
I feel like I'm in on the prank, and that's why I'm enjoying it more this go around.
Yes.
I hate champagne. I absolutely hate it.
It's great. It's bubbly and delicious.
It's vile. Yes, nerf the nerf of her. That would be great if it was the puzzle box from Hellraiser that opens up when she finally turns that.
Oh, I hated those Jack in the Box thingies. Oh,
Yeah.
not a fan.
Even looked at the camera and everything.
A bit of a kind of moment, wasn't it? Well, everybody, that was April Fool's Day. Thank you for introducing me to that movie. So let's go through the comments from our chat. Lost in Highway says it's a letdown but still good. Let's go through some of the other comments we've got here. Calbot says it's a bit of a letdown the first time, but to revisit it later, knowing the twist, it may grow on you. I think it might be one I would revisit to see if I pick up on things knowing the ending, knowing the twist of the movie.
Watch it with people who haven't seen it and get in on the prank, and you will experience it in a totally different light, I promise you.
Yes.
Mad Matt says we just watched the death of the audience enthusiasm. And then Sharon said, what's in the box? Big twist. Sharon says April Fool's slasher movie, brilliant. Raider Nation 87 says surprise ghoulies. Leanne says it's all right. Scott J says, I've always loved there's no actual deaths. The ride is still the same. It actually tricks the viewer, which I love. Phonic says, I loved it the first time. It's still one of my favourite slashers of the year, the ultimate prank movie. Edward the Black Prince says, screw this, I'm out. Can't blame you. I can't. Eric says, I give it credit for doing something different. And that's a good point. Onzi wants to know, who's that woman who appeared at the end?
That was Nan.
Okay.
Yeah.
With a different haircut.
Yeah.
Right. There's some. Sharon says it was different. Mad Matt says it's a slasher movie with a dull knife. Robin says great watch party. Thanks, Robin. Yeah, so everyone's enjoying that. I don't know. I think I do need to rewatch. Thank you, Jesse, for saying that was a fun movie to watch. I've had a lot of fun actually being introduced to something new.
Yes.
Next week.
It was a hit at the box office. The budget was $5 million and it made like $13 million. And then because it didn't have a lot of gory deaths, it played on TV a lot in the late. And so that kind of got this cult following from there. So yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. I've had a lot of fun. We're just going to talk a bit about next week's watch party. There's going to be some special instructions kind of around it. Next week we will be watching, as part of In Search of Legends, our fantasy series, we're going to be watching the 1984 classic Supergirl, which is going to be a lot of fun. Just to say to everybody, if you're getting your copy of the movie, which you will need for next week, the cut we'll be watching is often referred to as the international cut. It goes by various names. You'll know which cut it is, as it is 2 hours and 4 minutes long, which is the common one on Amazon Prime and most of the streaming services. So remember, when you're hunting down your copy of Supergirl, 2 hours and 4 minutes long. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I think Dom's going to have a great time with it. Have you seen the film before, Dom?
I have. I saw it the least of any Superman/Supergirl movie as a kid. Even less so than everyone's favourite, Superman 4.
Oh, well, there we go. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great.
I lived for that film. Like, I don't know what it was. My cousins and I, we watched that movie on repeat all the time.
Well, you're a big Supergirl fan.
Yes.
Well, if you want to join us, Carla, you've always got an open invitation to join us anytime you'd like. So more than welcome. But everyone, stay safe, look after each other, and we'll see you all in 7 days' time. So bye-bye.
Bye.
See you then.